I dream of purple kangaroos. They must be royalty. They must be like kites that fly with every step above the cello of the Taj Mahal or the Wailing Wall. They must be like a line of children holding hands and running, knowing that any moment their magical abilities will set in. And I will fly and not look back. And I will touch the clouds and the air beyond the clouds that they say cannot be breathed. Will massage my lungs and make light my head. And I will not look down, and I will not fall like the others. I will not doubt that a purple kangaroo has wings, no matter what the science books say. They've never heard of me. I am not like the thousands of fallen. My body will not decorate the ground. I will not be the latest carcass, as another young kangaroo takes off for the first time and believes that he has wings. I am not like them. I am not deceived. I am not weak. I am not naked and crying like babies left in dumpsters by girls. I am not. I can fly. I can lift above and see it all going on. But I'm better. I'm better. I'm a purple kangaroo, damn it. I am a god. I am a beast in flight. Aren't you afraid? Don't you see my cape behind me? No, I guess not, because I am too high for sight. I am a blind and forgetful god, and I love it. And I do not look back, and I do not look down. They have fallen that way, and I will not fall.
Yeah!
Thanks. For a period of time I wrote, I prepared 10 minutes. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. For a series of time I wrote a lot shorter poems. Those were the ones that were mostly in the chapbook, and I have 2 of those here tonight. The first one goes like this. A tiny white flower dropped into the froth of my drink. You shouted for me to hold it still, but I had already plucked it out, reflexively. I tried to put it back, I swear, but it was never as beautiful or as free. And then the second one is this. It's very short. It goes like this. It says, dying things in pots have the deepest roots. They are allowed. This poem was written about my lovely boyfriend the first time that we were separated. He was on vacation, so. If light can bend, if light can bend, why must I love you so directly? Why must I adore your effortless heart, your silly, fluffy hair, the divine power of your genitals, your slightly roughened hands, your scholar's mind? If sound can bend, why must I love you so directly? For the solitude that you crave, the swords and daggers that fascinate your passion, the steadiness of your word. Why must I love the shine in your eyes as you tease me? If water can rush wildly around a bend, then why must I love you so directly? Why must I cling to the feel of your hand so unabashedly in mine as we wander roads unknown to me? If the mind can bend, then why must I love you so directly? Why must I love the kindness with which you raised your little sisters without the slightest desire to torment them? Why must I love your voice when you say my name? Why must I ache for you in your absence? If light can bend around the curve of the planet, then my heart can do the same. It can love you just as well in the Creole spice of New Orleans or the salty sea air of the Caribbean as it can love me at home, living in my own name. Thanks. And this poem is about losing someone who was once like a limb to me, a blazing ball of absence. In the radiance of the sun, I remember her fingers, the roughness of each pad, always soothing, always warm on my cool Irish skin. She touched me with such ease, such common familiarity, as though my body were solely an extension of hers. I remember her like that, all sonorous laugh and dark braids. I remember bedtime stories invented to help each other sleep, and a stolen kiss that I, dumbstruck, was too tardy in returning. In the harshness of the mid-afternoon sun, I remember the way it was the night that she charged at me, and her sighs became, bafflingly, not a thing of comfort. Her dark eyes ran so wild that my heart shivered and shook like squirrels on speed, and if I'd known that stolen kisses were an option back then, it would have been the perfect time for a dozen of them, peppered with I love yous, peppered with I'm sorries. Gone now. I torture myself with that night, so many hundreds of nights later, is thrown back into my face by the blackness whenever I claim that I can love without maiming. The blaring subtlety of the evening sun, crimson and pumpkin, violet and gold, yet invisible, tucked behind a bank of clouds, reminds me of her absence. I think her presence is louder in my heart when I'm deprived of knowing whether she's safe and happy or just safe. The vacancy that she leaves behind inside my bones makes me feel bird-like, though without the possibility of flight, without any means to carry myself over seas into her arms, where I would most certainly be unwelcome. The sun, in its wildness, in its blazing gaseous chaos, reminds me of the passion and care that I felt for her, the core elements of my love, churn, fire, combustible glee, warmth, radiance, the most primal of truths. In her absence, in time, they have depleted but little. My sister, my lover, my very closest friend, my ebony twin. Given some time, I won't miss you so desperately, I know, but I'm not looking forward to it. And then this last poem is about my grandma, and I wanted to dedicate tonight to my grandma. She was always very, very supportive of my work, and it would have been great to have her here tonight. It's called Grandma Rising. She laid there like an oil slick, permeating everything, stilling life, smothering joy, with each phrase of babbled incoherence that puddled on her lips. They were cracked. I noticed that, with my face close enough to feel her breath on my cheek, my fingers wrapped around her withered fist. Her eyes seemed to clear a fraction, and her voice, just a little scratchier than it was when I was 5, rasped. This, rattled breath, is just perfect. This is just, rattled breath, how I wanted it. Then I smoothed her hair, wet and sticky as oil, and whispered, "That's good, Grandma." Then I wet my lips on her forehead, smearing the taste of the oil slick with my tongue. I thought of gulls and pelicans drowning in the stuff, how wings became useless against such offenses. Tracing the bright blue veins under her paper-thin skin, I knew that wingless, I didn't stand a chance. Goodbye, I spoke softly into the ear with the hearing aid. I love you. And then it pulled me under. Grandma followed 5 days later. Thank you.
Love you, Jen.